We have helped this e-commerce brand to increase the revenue by 357% in 3 months, while also increasing the return on ad spend by 110%. And the best part is that we didn't even increase the ad spend. So the only thing that we did was jump inside the Meta account, optimize it, improve the account structure, improve the creative strategy, and these were the results that we actually got. And in today's video, I'm gonna show you exactly everything that we have done, starting from the account structure until the creative strategy. Let's jump on my screen and I can show you actually some data. So as you can see in here, this is the entire period of data. So between the 1st of November 2024, when the brand was working with us yet, and June 14th of June 2025. And as you can see, there is actually a net increase in revenue from the graph directly from Shopify. And this is the period, the 3 months that we helped this brand to grow the revenue. And this is the growth in terms of percentage. As you can see, total sales increased by 357%, and order increased by 303%, and conversion rate increased by 255%. So what do you actually see here, guys? The thing that you see is that the number of sessions didn't actually change much. We only increased the number of sessions by 18%. And so as you can see, the only way that we had to actually improve the return on ad spend and everything was just by improving their ad account structure and improve the creative strategy. So basically just by making better ads. And this that you see now on my screen is the screenshot directly from Meta ads. So as you can see, this is the period 13th of March until 13th of June, which is exactly the 3 months of work that we've done. And as you can see here, the return on ad spend increased by 119%, and the CPA, so the cost per purchase, decreased by 42%. And this is 3 months before, and this is 3 months after, as simple as that. What do you see here? As I mentioned already, the session didn't change much because the ad spend didn't change much, but we were able still to increase the conversion rate by 255%, and so the number of orders, return on ad spend, and everything basically just went up. And the only way that we were able to do this is by improving the actual quality of ads and ad account structure, which is exactly what I'm going to show you today in this video. And the best part is that you might be thinking, oh, the conversion rate improved, so they definitely did some improvement on the website. And the thing is that we actually didn't even touch the website. We didn't even touch the offer. So the only thing that we did was just basically doing better ads, and that's it. So basically just more qualified traffic with proper messaging, so people that landed on the website were basically almost ready to buy. So what we actually did, we improved the account structure and we created better ad creative. So in terms of account structure, let's have a look what they were doing before then working with us. As you can see here, they had 20 active campaign, so all the campaigns with number of impressions greater than 0, and this was within the period of January to March. So they had 20 campaigns running during this period, which is definitely not the best thing to do nowadays on Meta, because you want to make sure that your budget is consolidated in a few number of campaigns, and of course ideally also ad set as well, to make sure that you exit the learning phase, and so the data learning within each single ad set is maximized for the actual end goal, which is of course return on the ad spend. The second problem is that they were having a lot of messy targeting. So as you can see in here, this ad set was called conversions add to cart, and this is basically what it looked like. So as you can see, this is completely like a mess. So there are like a lot of different audiences here and there, like literally just like a mess. Okay, and there is also no clear account structure, because as you can see, this is like one of their ad set, which didn't even make any sense. And the problem number 4 is that there was a wrong audience segmentation. So they didn't divide the audience between engaged audience and existing customers, so they didn't even know who they were actually targeting on their ads. And then finally they had a very random testing structure. So in each single ad set. They were putting inside everything like UGC, videos, statics, professional videos, everything, literally everything. And this doesn't work because, as I already explained in other videos, when we do this, Meta usually tends to invest more budget, not necessarily on the ad with the highest return on ad spend, but on the ad with the highest engagement. And this is very common on Meta because, of course, Meta wants to make sure that the experience that people are enjoying while consuming your ad is maximized. And so an engagement that is much easier to get on a video is much easier for Meta to actually understand, oh, that creative is working well because it's generating a lot of engagement. That's why we usually want to split between videos and images, and this is exactly what we did, but I'm gonna show you this later. So in terms of creatives, what happened, as you saw before, is that they were using a very random approach. So all creatives thrown within one single ad set, no clear messaging, no research based ads. So the ads, they were created just like, oh, I think this is gonna work. Some of their content looked very good in terms of like professional content. So the ads were actually cool, but they were not selling. And they were also producing a very low volume of ads, so only 5 to 10 around ads per month. So what we actually did, this is basically what we did. Let's start with the account structure. So how we actually improved the account structure. So the first thing that we did, it was to simplify the ad account overall. So one testing campaign, one scaling campaign in Advantage Shopping Plus per country that they were targeting, and one strategic retargeting campaign. So as you can see here, this is basically how the setup look like. And when it comes to retargeting, there is a specific catalog ad, retargeting only people that engage with specific products, to propose those people that bought specific product or engage with specific product, just similar products. In terms of testing and scaling campaign, we're using a very simple ABO testing campaign, which is what we usually recommend, and two Advantage Shopping Plus with the best performing content from the testing campaign into those actually Advantage Shopping Plus campaign. And so we basically had only 4 active campaigns compared to 20, which was the case before. Also, one thing that we noticed is that most of their sales were actually coming from IG, and the lowest cost per purchase was also coming from IG. And so this is something that we actually looked at, because we of course want to analyze the best performing placement as well, and we focused all our ads and placement into IG rather than Facebook. And also we used post ID for scaling top content, just to make sure that the engagement was duplicated across the ad that was running within the testing campaign, and also the ad that was running within the scaling campaign. Something very important to mention here is that when you do this switch, so when you duplicate the ad from the testing to the scaling campaign, you absolutely don't want to stop the ad within the testing campaign and the testing ad set, whatever, especially if this ad is working. And also something to mention is that we went completely just pro targeting, only filtered by narrowed down by gender, and we excluded the 60 days purchases because the goal was to bring as many new customers as possible. And this is a very, very common problem. I see a lot of people, a lot of brands that are just running ads without excluding existing customers. And the problem is that you're spending money to convert the same customers, when you can actually do that just by, doing email marketing or SMS marketing. And then in terms of creatives, this is what we did. So the first thing overall was to do a proper creative analysis. So we analyzed all the existing data. We did also some market research, of course, using Reddits, Facebook groups, reviews. So we analyzed the actual audience to understand the best ad angles and messages, as well as the best creative types and style that we could use to target the audience. And for this brand specifically, the research plus analysis told us that videos will work much better compared to static images at scale. And so this is what basically the funnel looked like. So we mainly used videos to target top of funnel audience, statics to target middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. Something that you need to consider here as well is that when you create ads, you need to consider the user awareness stage. And so there are different people that might be a different awareness stage compared to the market or your product. And so you need to make sure that you use the correct media in terms of like images or videos, and most importantly, the the best messages for that audience. We have launched basically ads, a new batch of ads every 2 weeks. As you can see here, just like some messaging from our Slack group, and there is like a 2 weeks time frame between the first batch and then the second batch, and then for the other batches as well. Each single batch that we are producing was based on some new concept and some iterations of the winning concept and ads, just to make sure, of course, that the return on spend was maximized. Now, each single video had 6 different variations. We only did a text on screen variation to target different angles. And so this is basically the video. The video is only one, and each single video was basically targeting different audiences by having just a simple variation in terms of text on screen. Because for instance, the message number 1 could be for a problem number 1 and targets the audience number 1, which is more aware for the specific problem. And then we have another variation with another text on screen, which was delivering a message number 2 for a problem solution number 2 for an audience number 2 that had a different, they wanted basically a different solution for their problem, because probably they just had different problems. And this is how we were basically just, keep the production cost at the minimum and target different audiences with, ideally the same video. And this is the example. This is how it looked like. So one ad set, all the video variations inside, and so we were basically picking the best performing one and then moved it into the scaling campaign. Now, when it comes to static images, we really produce a lot of static images. We produced like 50 ads in a couple of weeks, and also in 2 different languages. In terms of ad style that worked are those that we define as original concept. So the original concept are basically ads that stand out from the crowd. So the ads that you don't copy paste from the competitors. So not the classic point out benefits or those kind of things. So the best performing were ads that we actually thought in terms of like concept. So basically creating new concepts, something new that people have never seen. And these are usually the ads that works very well, and the ads that we usually try to focus for our clients, because we see most of the results coming from these type of ads. So now you're probably thinking, oh, you guys produce 50 ads in just a couple of weeks, a lot of UGCs and everything. How much did everything cost to the client? And the good thing is that they didn't pay us per number of creatives, and so they pay us only per winner, because this is how we usually work. And this was basically very good from a client perspective, because they basically paid only for the ads that actually worked and that we could scale. And this allowed the client to keep basically the production cost as low as possible and pay only for content that they were actually winners. And this is also what we think is the best approach when it comes to collaborating with e-commerce brands. And this is it for this video, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and as usual I will do my best to answer everyone. And I leave you also the link in the description of this video in case you want to reach out to me and work with us, and I'll see you in the next video.